our resource person, Mr. Sandeep Gupta, and all the dear enthusiastic participants. A very good, bright morning. And I'm sure this morning we are going to learn so much that it's going to be helpful throughout our life. So we are just towards almost at the end of our 5-day lecture series. The series was on moving from uncertainty to certainty in personal and professional life. And today is the 4th day, the 4th session. We started with the first session of Foundation of Happiness and Success through integrative mindfulness, where our resource person told us how attention, observation, pause are used as a tools to obtain integrative mindfulness. The second session was on you are larger than you believe, and it was really heartening to know that when we have a perception where we want to count our strengths, we find that our strengths outweigh our weaknesses, and this is where we have to focus. And first, we love ourselves, only then we can love the entire world. So we are at the epicenter. We have to be our own focus, and we have to see the larger picture, remaining positive, remaining flexible, having the right mindset. The third lecture was moving from deficit approach to asset approach. That means we should design what you want to do. We should have a proper plan and have a smart plan. That plan should be achievable, it should be measurable, it should be realistic, and keep on measuring it. Make a timeline, have a time frame, and decide whatever you want to do, whether you want to continue or you want to change. So have that flexibility and adaptability. Your idea should be clear, you should be coherent with what you really want. And once you are clear and coherent, you would feel that positive energy. So that is moving from deficit approach to asset approach. You have been blessed by so many things, focus on them. So whatever you are good at, just keep on doing it, keep on improving it, rather than stuck at what you are unable to do. In the process, you would reach to a point where all your things where you are poor at or bad at, they would really improve. Now, today is the 4th session, and today's session is about changing face of business and profession. So I welcome Mr. Sandeep Gupta once again, and it really has been a very interesting part. Every day I am glued to my screen and with the hope that now I'm going to learn a new thing. If I am so enthusiastic, I'm sure all my participants are equally, if not more, they're equally enthusiastic about it. So once again, the platform is yours, and I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ravindra Kaur. And honestly, I'm more enthusiastic to talk. You see, and yes, yesterday was a highly motivating, the interactions we had, the participation we had, and I expect larger participation today and tomorrow. Okay, at the outset, let me confess, today's lecture might not be that interactive, but it's a very important thing which we'll be discussing. Uh, while I set up the thing, just think, what are the three fundamental key pillars in life, which make your life or mar your life? वो तीन चीजें ऐसी कौन सी हैं, which matter most in life? And जो भी आपके समझ में आता है उसको चैट बॉक्स में डालिए. The three things which matter most in life.
So to all the participants, you have to write 3 things which matter you most. आपको क्या सबसे important है आपकी life में?
No, let me rephrase the question. Which are the three most important things which impact one's life? Okay. कौन सी मतलब वो चीज ऐसी है कि अगर वो आप वो नहीं करेंगे तो आपकी जिंदगी में कोई कमी रह जाएगी. There'll be a vacuum in your life. Okay, so happiness, self-introspection, happiness, believing in oneself, health, great, positive attitude, consistency, discipline, introspection, happiness, peace, belief in yourself, confidence, patience, gratitude, hard work, family discipline. Guys, great.
Is this what we were looking at? Probably
No,
the question should be reframed if
has.
it's not
So,
that.
yeah, so I'll just come to it, right? The three things which matter most in life, okay? Number one is education. Number two is career. And number three is relationships, okay? Education तो आप लोग कर ही रहे हैं, and that includes formal education, informal education. And believe me, there is no time limit, there is no age bar to keep educating yourself. And मैं इतने साल बाद भी, I keep educating myself, and my education process is still on. Number two, career. आप काम क्या करते हैं? That is critical, highly critical. People will come and give you various options, you know. आप डॉक्टर बन जाइए, इंजीनियर बन जाइए, आप एरोनॉटिकल इंजीनियर बन जाइए, आप आईएएस में चले जाइए. You do some graphic designing, you get into modeling, you get into films, you become a director, you do business, you do social service, etc., etc. But people don't come and tell you what are the driving forces, what are the things which are changing. Today, what we are going to talk of is the driving forces of the profession and business, how things are changing, and how do we need to prepare ourselves so that we remain relevant in the 21st century, we remain effective, efficient, we feel contented, we are successful and happy.
Sandeep, can I ask one question to students on your behalf, just as a
Yes, please.
teacher and a
Please
mentor?
do.
I would like to know. Can you please all write in the chat box how many of you feel happy for days and days, even when you are not learning anything, and you still are happy? You're not doing anything constructive, you're not learning anything, and you're just idling away, probably just glued to your TVs, to your screens, and still remain happy and contented for days and days. Please mute yourself, one of you. Okay. So I get the answer, yes, no, not for long duration, no, no, no. And what gives you the most happiness, the gratification as a student? When you feel at the end of the day, it was a real constructive day, a good day, a happy day.
Brilliant, learning new things, being productive, completing to do learning, achieve, plenty of knowledge gathering, positive results or inputs, achieve the target. Dr. Kaur, does it
Yeah,
answer?
yeah, thank you so much. I'm
Brilliant,
encouraged.
brilliant. Okay, so the second thing is career, right? And the third and the pivot is relationships. Now, when I talk of relationships, I don't mean just how do you relate to other human beings. It also includes relationship with yourself, relationship with situations, how do you react to events, and obviously the other people. Okay, and you'll be surprised. There is a theory. They say कि जिंदगी में सिर्फ तीन चीजें मायने रखती हैं, and that is your brain, your mind, and relationships. nothing else. But anyway, we'll not get into that. Now let me come to a question, or since we are talking of business and profession, profession is included in business, right? For our discussion. Now I want an answer. As per you, does business drive society or society drives business? Rules or dictates. Does business dictates society or society dictates business? People who believe that business dictates society, put a B in the chat box. People who believe that society dictates business, put a S in the chat box. S, 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 B, society, B, B, S, S, S. Dilemma, okay, both. S. Okay, the majority is saying society drives business or society dictates business. Yes, I do agree. But the question is, why did you say it? मैंने ये बात तो एक्सेप्ट कर ली आपकी कि सोसाइटी डिक्टेट्स बिजनेस बट एनी आइडिया व्हाई
सर बेसिकली अगर हमको कुछ भी प्रपोज करना है तो पहले हम सोसाइटी को देखना पड़ेगा कि उसकी नीड है या नहीं, कि अगर हम
Okay.
कुछ भी प्रपोज कर दें तो फिर उसका सिस्टम में होता है।
ओके शुभम अ गुड आंसर बट लेट्स गो स्लाइटली डीपर एनीवन एल्स
So the perception of other people governs how to deal with that business. That's why society drives business.
यस आई एग्री ओके यस व्हाट एल्स चलिए लेट्स मूव अहेड राइट नंबर 1 a business from times immemorial has been an integral part of every society participating in societal growth and evolution. Business has been an integral part. वो barter system था या आज का monetary system है or whatever it is. It has been a part of society. Now the point is, what is business? What do you understand by business? इसमें I would like you to go deeper, right? At the essence, what is business?
So it's all about the sales and purchase.
Sales and purchase. Okay, one answer we have sales and purchase. Someone else?
Sir, it's about giving and taking back to society.
Given and taking back to society. Yes, a very good thought. Come on, one or two more. We have sale and purchase, giving and taking back from society.
Sir, it focuses on how you develop the skill to deal with people and change their mentality and get some profit.
Okay, fair enough. Thinking out of the box, demand and supply. It's all about a person to be engaged in an activity or enterprise entered into for profit. Okay, let us see, how do I define business? Business is a relationship between three sets of people: the owners, the employees, and customers, who help each other to help themselves. आप लोग इससे एग्री करते हैं? अगर करते हैं से yes in the chat box, नहीं करते हैं तो say no. Business is a relationship between three sets of people, which are the owners, वो लोग जो business establish करते हैं, employees, जो उनके लिए काम करते हैं, और customers, वो लोग जो उनके products और services को use करते हैं. और ये तीनों सेट्स आपस में एक दूसरे की मदद करते हैं जिससे वो अपनी मदद कर सकें. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
या ज्यादा डीप हो गया? अब देखो, लेट्स पुट इट दिस वे, द ओनर, द एम्प्लॉयर, द कस्टमर. इफ वी रिमूव द ओनर, क्या बिजनेस बचेगा?
नो
नहीं
सर,
बचेगा ना.
नो.
Okay, so let's get the owner back. We remove the employees. अब बिजनेस है, फैक्ट्री है, कस्टमर्स हैं, बट काम करने वाले नहीं हैं. क्या बिजनेस बचेगा?
No.
नो. चलो, एंड लेट्स रिमूव द कस्टमर्स नाउ. ओनर है, फैक्ट्री है, काम करने वाले भी हैं, माल बना रहे हैं, सर्विसेज देने को तैयार हैं, बट देयर इज नो कस्टमर. विल द बिजनेस सर्वाइव?
नो सर.
No,
Not
sir.
at all.
No.
Okay, so is it not primarily a relationship between the three sets? ये सेल परचेज तो इनका मेथड ऑफ एंगेजिंग विथ ईच अदर है. प्रॉफिट इज द रिजल्ट, बट एट द बेस लेवल it is a relationship. Okay, so we can say it is a socio-economic activity of the people, by the people, for the people. Number two, क्या बिजनेस की अपनी कल्चर होती है? business is a paper tiger basically. An organization is a paper tiger. खुद तो वो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकती. It is the people who breathe in life into it, who are the heart and soul and liver and body and brain and mind of the business. So उसकी अपनी कोई कल्चर नहीं होती है. जिसको हम बिजनेस कल्चर कहते हैं, या बिजनेस मेथडोलॉजी, या बिजनेस रेपुटेशन कहते हैं, दैट इज ऑल बिल्ट बाय द पीपल बिहाइंड इट. वो लोग चेंज हो जाते हैं, बिजनेस की कल्चर भी चेंज हो जाती है. सत्यम, आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा सत्यम, one of the biggest frauds in Indian history, right? उसमें क्या था, राजू जो उसका ओनर था, he did very good business, very honest business. बाद में वो, he started manipulating the accounts and he siphoned out money, he defrauded people, and Satyam went down the drains. Then Anand Mahindra purchased it, and today again Satyam, जिसका नाम चेंज हो गया है, Mahindra Intertech, is ruling. अब जिस टाइम राजू was the chairman managing director, उसके दिमाग में बदमाशी थी, तो सत्यम was known for बदमाशी. Today Anand Mahindra is there, उसके दिमाग में service है, तो सत्यम is known for service. So the people behind the business are very important. And secondly, since it has to work in society, right? Business resources कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? Society से. It has to work in society. So जैसे हम लोग हैं, we are living organisms. हमको ठंड लगती है तो इमीडिएटली हम स्वेटर निकाल लेते हैं, गर्म कपड़े निकाल लेते हैं. गर्मी लगती है तो हम उतार देते हैं. बारिश आती है तो छाता ले लेते हैं. तो मतलब we adapt ourselves quickly to the external environment. Similarly, businesses also quickly adapt themselves to the external environment. Okay, and अगर हम देखें, so they have throughout ages they have been changing their methodology. First we have the agriculture society, then 1700 के करीब industry came in, then in the 1900s information came in, and in the 2000 we have the knowledge industry. और हर transformation के अपने pros and cons हैं, अपना forward movement है, अपनी requirements हैं, and there has been a constant change in doing business. So instead of getting down to the agricultural society, let's talk of the last 50 years, only 50 years. जो 20th century mindset था business का, that was bluffing in business is ethical. Business में बुद्धू बनाना is acceptable. ये Harvard Business Review में एक आर्टिकल निकला था in 1968 by one chap called Albert Zar or Albert Z. Carr. He established कि look, घर पे आप झूठ नहीं बोल सकते हैं, बट बिजनेस में झूठ बोलेंगे तो कोई बात नहीं, जब तक आप उस कंट्री के लॉज, टैक्सेशन के या जो भी लॉज हैं उनको फॉलो कर रहे हैं. तो इन द 60s जो बिजनेस डेवलप हुआ, इन द 2000s जो बिजनेस डेवलप हुआ, there was no sensitivity towards the customers. It was all product driven, and there was no place for human values and ethics in that business, in the 20th century business model. Or marketing, which was the core of business, क्या था? Price, product, place, and promotion. Marketing was emotionless. They used to manipulate the customer's emotions and उसको माल चिपका देते थे. मतलब, let's put it this way, on a lighter vein, the philosophy was, a person who can sell a comb to a bald man is the best marketing person. That was the acid test of business and marketing in the 20th century. And uska result kya hua? Human values went down in the business decision making, right? Scientism and materialism बढ़ गया. Scientism का मतलब होता है what can be established by physics, chemistry, biology. इसमें sixth sense नहीं आता, ethical human ethics नहीं आते, human values नहीं आती हैं. Human values went down and the physical reality went up, and the purpose of business became to earn money at any cost. And the result was financial scams, Enron, WorldCom, Satyam, Tyco, environmental violations, human right violations, Union Carbide, India mein hua tha, and 42 people in 2018, only 42 people owned 50% of the global wealth. And the consequences were, at the turn of the century, every business board was on the drawing board because the society had started rejecting them. Society had given them an ultimatum: change or perish. And this was a big shock for businesses. And going forward, so what are the demands now in the 21st century जिसमें हम लोग रह रहे हैं? The first demand is, excuse me, the first demand is focus on values rather than strategies. When I say values, it means focus on human beings. अच्छा, ये सब चीजें आपके लिए इसलिए जरूरी हैं because you have to design your career, your profession, your vocation, your future, keeping these things in mind. If you want to be successful, if you want exceptional results in your life, otherwise you'll be like one of the very many जो routine में mechanical जिंदगी में अपनी जिंदगी निकाल देते हैं. So one is focus on values rather than strategies. Number two, do business the economic way. Yes, business has to make money, but the righteous way. Yesterday we spoke of righteousness, dharma. Correct तरीके से करो. Business को के दो obligations हैं. One is the economic obligation towards itself so that it keeps on, it survives, keeps on perpetuating, keeps on growing, keeps on adding value. And the other obligation is towards society. Because business has got a big influence on society. So strike a balance. Third, responsible behavior दिखाओ. जैसे अपना CSR आया है, corporate social responsibility law आया है, world over. And now comes, it also asks people or businesses to see the larger picture. Everything is affected by everything, and everything is affected by everything. Everything affects everything, and everything is affected by everything. ये थोड़ा सा excuse me, ये थोड़ा सा गलत टाइप हो गया. It is basically everything affects everything, and everything is affected by everything. Larger picture. This is the chaos theory. And larger picture के अंदर जैसे अपन ने देखा, it's all about consequences. अगर मैं ये decision लेता हूँ, तो उसके consequences क्या हैं? We will lead. And this is a part of the chaos theory. वो theory ये कहती है, the entire world is so interconnected. If a butterfly flaps her wing, say in Alaska, there'll be a storm in Sahara. It is so interconnected. And the next thing is usher in better worldliness, which means neither pure worldliness, only materialism, or neither totally holism. It has to be a balance between both the worlds, the inner and the outer worlds. And lastly, and the most important, is internal mental revolution. And जो ये lecture series है, अगर आप गौर से देखेंगे, I am taking you towards that internal mental revolution. Okay, so moving forward, दो चीजें थी, एक transformation और एक better worldliness. Come on, now tell me what do you understand by transformation? You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat box. What is transformation for you? Transformation is different from change. Why is everyone quiet, bhai? Kuch to jawab do. What do you understand by transformation? What does transformation mean to you? Change that is visible and creates impact, good. Molding according to the situation, good. Transformation is a beautiful journey. ये तो थोड़ा poetic हो गया. चलिए. Molding according to the situation. What more?
So doing some reforms in the old rules, the older
Yes.
rules which are existing.
Correct. Brilliant. You are very much there. Changing the way things are going on permanently and bringing things that people follow. Okay. Improvement. Okay. Level up. Okay. What else?
Can I add a certain thing to them for them to answer?
Yeah, sure.
How do you think education would transform you? How do you think this journey of college graduation would transform you? Although it's a bit, I'm sorry, Sandeep.
No.
It's
It's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question. Adding value to yourself, changing the method of learning.
Sir,
The process of changing completely.
sir,
yes.
it is the task of changing you, who you are, and becoming what you want to be.
Okay, good. Chalo, so we have got a number of thoughts, number of views. Some are there, some are not there, right? Some are partially there. Let us see, what does it really mean? Transformation is a fundamental shift from one paradigm to another. Paradigm means a model, a thought process, okay? It is a shift from old ways of working that are no more relevant to an altogether new way of working that are required to succeed. So बहुत से लोगों ने ये change की बात करी. So I'm just putting it together in a proper perspective. I acknowledge and appreciate all of the participants, you know.
Again here, I would, I'm so sorry, I'm finding
Yeah.
it so interesting that I would like the students to talk about this transformation, what sir told about going from an old paradigm to a new paradigm. What do you think in education it would be? What you have been doing till date, and now in your graduation, you tend to reach to a new paradigm.
It's again a brilliant question. इससे पहले बस मैं एक चीज ऐड कर दूं. Students, look, transformation brings about in the change in the way we see, think and behave. किसी ने internal change की भी बात करी थी ना. Transformation brings about a change in the way we see, think and behave. For example, Microsoft अपने computers लेके आया, HP computers लेके आया. Everything changed, right? Google अपना search engine लेके आया, everything changed. You started seeing things differently, thinking differently, behaving differently. Now coming to Dr. Kaur's question, what transformation is, can I have the liberty to refine your question?
Sure, sir. It was triggered by your thought process only.
Okay, the starting point is your existing education system, right? What transformation is required so that you fit beautifully in the 21st century requirement?
Exactly. I would request the students to please write their viewpoints in the chat box.
Okay, removing business from education, okay? What else? By educating ourselves more as per the need or demand of society. Avlok, you make a good point. Kashvi, you make a good point. Dipanshu makes a very good point. Aditya Kumar, concentrating more to practical aspects rather than theory. Good point. Focusing more on practical learning, doing more practical things instead of theories. Practical exposure. Okay, guys, great. First of all, I congratulate you कि आपने confidence दिखाया और अपने को express किया. And a big applause for all of you who have expressed themselves.
Very true. Very true.
Right. And when you express means you have acknowledged that thing, you are feeling that thing. That when you start feeling something and you acknowledge it, that is 50% of the war has been won. When you express it, another 10-15% is won. So the gap between where you want to be and you are standing reduces. So yes, a big applause to all of you. Fine, so this is one thing, transformation. Yes, we have talked about transformation. And the other thing which we talked of is better worldliness, which the world is looking for today. Now, can you take a shot at it? I know it might be difficult, but would you like to take a shot at it? What is better worldliness?
I think you'll have to give them some more hints about it.
Okay.
Some
okay.
keywords.
I'll give them. अगर आप सिर्फ materially grow करते हैं, You are growing only materially और internally values में, ethics में grow नहीं कर रहे हैं. So क्या होता है? You are creating a man-eater. आप एक हपशी से बन जाते हैं, like China wants to gobble up everything, right? And the world is against China today. On the other hand, आप ethics में और values में grow करते रहते हैं, but materially grow नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि material is required to survive in life. Without material, you cannot survive. So you become a lame duck. Lame duck का मतलब ये है कि निकलते बढ़ते कोई भी लात मार के चला जाएगा. So what do we? So better worldliness, not unworldliness. Better worldliness. चलो I knew it could be slightly difficult. Better worldliness means we are us. We us ours way of life. मैं और मेरा नहीं, हम और हमारे. It's a disposition or a thought towards life based on righteous way of conduct. Righteous way of conduct क्या है? A conduct with compassion, that is mutuality, helping other people to rise from their pain, and forbearance for fellow men, and respect, forbearance for fellow men. And obviously men over here, old style of English है ये, includes women. For fellow human beings होना चाहिए था, irrespective of nationality, color, religion, or caste. The human factor is the prime mover, and you got to be sensitive towards humanity, to human beings. There should be an equal opportunity for everyone. There should be mutuality. We should consider the entire world as a big family. And this is the Indian ethos also. Vaishnava Kutumba. God's creation is a big family. And this is where the West is also going. So अगर मैं जो भी अभी तक मैंने कहा है इसको कैप्चर करूं एक छोटी सी टेबल के अंदर, right? The 20th century was driven by machines. 21st century is being driven by people. 20th century में thinking क्या थी? Linear थी, left brain thinking थी. 21st century में क्या है? It's systems oriented, right and left combined है. It is all about seeing the larger picture. 20th century में goods and services were given value. 21st century में knowledge is given value. 20th century prospered on competition. 21st century has prospered on collaboration, is prospering on collaboration. And the management model, 20th century was control and command. पहले उसको control में कर लो, फिर उसको command करो. It was I know best and you do what I tell you. 21st century is collaborate and create. I know good, you know good, let's pool our good and create something. And as Kathy Davidson is a management researcher in UK, as she says, you can't take on 21st century tasks with 20th century tools and hope to get the job done. Can you? Obviously not. Okay. And in this background, आज की तारीख में जो businesses क्या मांग रहे हैं? Which businesses are prospering? Businesses which give you personal attention, which give you experience. ये business philosophy है, product और service की बात नहीं है. Product and service are innate things. What makes them successful is the philosophy behind them, philosophy of the people behind them, which add value to your life. You have trust in the organization. The organization develops a relationship with you and provides service. And जब आप आज की तारीख में चीज खरीदने जाते हैं तो आप क्या देख रहे हैं? एंगेजमेंट कितना हो रहा है आपके संग, आपको क्या एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है, क्या आपको एक्सक्लूसिविटी मिल रही है और इमोशनल लेवल पे कनेक्ट हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है. Therefore, the need to change thinking from what and how to produce and sell to why to produce and sell. And let me share a very interesting thing. You see, ये जैसे अपनी अब virtual reality आ गई है, augmented reality आ गई है. You know what the car companies are doing? पहले क्या होता था? पहले फैक्ट्री लगती थी, गाड़ी डिजाइन होती थी, प्रोड्यूस होती थी, फिर मार्केट में आती थी. एंड उसके बाद लोग बाग अपना फीडबैक देते थे, इसका कलर अच्छा नहीं है, इसकी सीट्स का एंगल अच्छा नहीं है, स्टीयरिंग का एंगल अच्छा नहीं है, डैशबोर्ड यूं होना चाहिए, गियर बॉक्स यूं होना चाहिए, और उसमें मॉडिफिकेशंस होते रहते थे. डू यू नो व्हाट द कंपनीज आर डूइंग टुडे? द कंपनीज आर यूजिंग द सिमुलेशन टेक्निक, अ सॉफ्टवेयर. आपको इनवाइट करते हैं, वो सिमुलेटर में बिठाते हैं, एंड यू गेट अ फीलिंग दैट यू आर ड्राइविंग दैट कार. And then you are giving your reactions. Oh, I'm enjoying the drive, but can the steering be slightly tilted towards me? Can we change the seat colors from brown to yellow or yellow to green? Can the dashboard have a larger pocket? Oh, there is no coffee mug. There's no coffee mug holder on the left side. Can we have one? Okay, where do I put my house keys? और ये जो reactions हो रहे हैं are being captured by another software. Again, software level पे ही उसका गाड़ी का डिजाइन चेंज हो रहा है. You are once again called. You are made to sit in the simulator. Once again, you experience the drive, and you say, "Great, perfect. This is what I love." And then a survey is done. They find that 60 people are loving this thing. Their model is ready. They set up the factory, and they produce the car. And by the time the car comes in the market, they have 60 people standing outside the factory waiting for the car to come in. Pehle agar investment was huge, time was huge, today it is done in 6 months' time. This is the way businesses are changing. अब गूगल पे सर्च करते हैं, अब 3 बार एक चीज सर्च करते हैं, चौथी बार सजेशन आता ही नहीं आता है. आप Amazon पे कुछ खरीदते हैं, don't they immediately throw up new ideas for you? Secondly, so ये सब changes हो रहे हैं टेक्नोलॉजिकल फ्रंट पे. ह्यूमन फ्रंट पे अपनी बात हो गई कि भाई you need to think why, you need to have a global thinking, you need to connect with people within the organization, outside the organization. So these are the changes, the way business is changing. Now let us see how does a new
Sandeep, can we go to the previous slide?
yeah, tell me.
Yeah, can I again interfere? So sorry, but I can't help it being an. Can I ask one thing to the students from this slide only?
Please go ahead, all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Sandeep. And I think I'm really barging in and so much
I'm loving
taking
it.
that liberty.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
Okay, all the students, sir has beautifully explained business today, customer expectations, and how with changing of times, our needs and our perceptions have changed, and how market has changed. So Dipto very rightly said, one thing they would like to change in education is business should not be there. So we are not talking in terms of, I understand his point that education while giving, the focus should not be having profits, but on a larger ground, making a change, adding a value. But in this slide, rather than writing business today, if I say education today, students' expectations, do you think everything what has been written by our resource person also goes true for it? I only change education today, students' expectations or the stakeholder expectations. Don't you think you require a personal attention from your educators, from your teachers? Don't you look forward to an experience that can change your entire life, that can change your entire attitude? It would add value to the life. You want a relationship of trust between you and your teacher, or you want a service in the sense whenever you are going, or you have an idea of learning, you want the best way to be uh, learned by your teachers. A relationship between your mentor or a teacher should be the best, and here is the engagement experience, exclusivity and emotions. Don't you think it also goes the best for education?
It's a brilliant question. Brilliant. I never thought that way. Thank you for giving me this thought, Dr. Kaur.
Thank you so much for encouraging me. But I just thought whatever you have written, it goes so well with our education sector. Like
Yes, yes.
nowadays, we talk about each individual, each person has a unique thing. So we talk of personalized learning, an individual approach. So there comes the personal attention. And again, when you summed up very nicely, need to change thinking from uh, what and how to why. So the same when we are studying, it's rather not only the syllabus or this is to be done. Why do we need to learn and how is it going to impact our life? I think that should be the focus point of the students. So just wanted to make that remark. Thank
Yes,
you
so
so much, Sandeep.
no, no, what are the students saying? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Exactly, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for your remarks, participation, comments. They are really motivating and encouraging. Okay, now let's quickly look at the business model जिसके लिए आप लोग शायद wait कर रहे होंगे अभी तक. This is Kotler's human-to-human business model. Earlier क्या था? It was not human to human. Earlier we were doing business, factory, product, human. Today it is human to human. And mindset तो चाहिए ही चाहिए, processes business है तो चाहिए चाहिए, management चाहिए चाहिए. Okay? Because without managing you cannot do anything, without processes you cannot manage, and both of them require a mindset which aligns to the global thinking or the worldview जिसको कहते हैं. And believe me, the worldview, is like a tidal wave. जब वो शुरू होती है सब कुछ तबाह कर देती है और नई रोशनी ले आती है. For example, computers has been a worldview. Computers, IT, has been a tidal wave and has changed the way dramatically. Okay, so and what are the three other elements? Service dominant logic, जो अभी previous slide में हमने discuss करी. Okay. Number two, digitization. Because your computers, your IT, your everything has got into our life so much, and it has made our life so, what should I say, easy, flexible, convenient, secure. और भाई अब तो डिजिटल करेंसी भी आने लगी है. But then there's a limitation to it. This does not mean that the human factor can be ignored. Okay? Human factor will always be there because ये सारी चीजें are being created by the people, for the people, are being created by the people and for the people, right? So the human mind and brain is going to be at the top. And design thinking. Design thinking means seeing the larger picture, seeing the connectivity. And again, we have been talking of all these things. And जो भी मैंने आपको कराया अभी तक पिछले 3 दिन में was from this angle. How do you connect from human to human? How do you collaborate so that you can give reality to your dreams? Okay, now as I move forward, managing the change. हमको 3 तरह के माइंडसेट्स चाहिए जब माइंडसेट की हमने बात करी. One is collaboration mindset, which we talked of yesterday. Compassion mindset. Idhar, I would like to draw a distinction between 3 words: sympathy, empathy, and compassion. Okay? Sympathy is when you see someone in pain and you recognize someone's pain. I acknowledge your pain. Fair enough. Empathy is I feel your pain. And compassion is I can feel your pain and I want to help you to get out of the pain. Now, interestingly, let me get some brain science into it. Empathy is processed in a particular part of the brain, and compassion is processed in another part. जब हम दूसरे का पेन फील करने लगते हैं, that is empathy, right? A number of times what happens, that pain becomes our own reality. हम जाते हैं उसकी मदद करने, but we come back with requiring help ourselves. But when we talk of compassion, that is processed in a different part of the brain. Empathy के संग जब ambition to help the other person gets added. So the ambition to help takes the upper hand. So you feel the pain of that person, but you don't feel the pain of that person to such an extent that you get impacted by them. So this principle is called the principle of integration with differentiation. You integrate, but still you keep yourself away from total integration. Okay. And this is a very important concept जो आपकी जिंदगी में हमेशा काम आएगा. So, okay, there is a boy and there's a girl, right? They like each other, fantastic, they like each other. अगर लड़की बिल्कुल लड़के जैसी बन जाए या लड़का बिल्कुल लड़की जैसे बन जाए, do you think that relationship will survive? Yes or no? Put it in the chat box. No, 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 not at all. No, no, no. Brilliant. And now let's come to a situation, the other end of the spectrum. दोनों में बिल्कुल सिमिलैरिटी नहीं है. एक ईस्ट देखता है, दूसरा वेस्ट देखता है. Do you think the relationship will survive? In everything. Still no, 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 no. Brilliant. Fantastic. So what is required? Both need to integrate with each other, but at the same time, put a full stop at a particular point so that their differences are not eroded. So it is integration with differentiation. And this is a principle जो आपको जिंदगी के हर एरिया में काम आएगा. और अगर इसको आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, you will not get obsessed by anything. And when you will not be obsessed by anything, you will be taking radical decisions and considered decisions which are radical, which will take you forward. This is the point I wanted to make. And the last thing is systems mindset. Again, systems mindset क्या चीज है? Connect, seeing the larger picture and joining the dots. अगर मैं ये करता हूं तो उसका रिजल्ट ये होगा, उसके रिजल्ट से ये होगा, या मैं ये करती हूं तो उसके रिजल्ट्स ये होंगे, उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस ये होंगे, फिर मुझे ये करना पड़ेगा. And this is somewhat we did yesterday. जब मैंने कहा अपने को imagine करो 70 साल, break it down, do reverse engineering, and come to the point where you are standing today, so that you can see your clear path forward. Okay? And now, the three qualities needed to lead in a business or profession tomorrow, or to be successful in a business or profession in the 21st century, by tomorrow, in today's time, are three: ability to unlearn, relearn, and adapt. इसको आप note कर लीजिए. Number two, high level of self-awareness. Why do I behave this way? वो पिक्चर थी ना कौन सी, वो ऋतिक रोशन की लक्ष्य, जिसमें वो गाना गाता है मैं ऐसा क्यों हूं. You see, so the choice is yours to know कि by becoming self-aware of a higher level, or just to keep singing कि मैं ऐसा क्यों हूं. If you keep singing, then you'll just keep singing throughout your life. But if you become self-aware, then you'll manage yourself, which means you'll manage your life in such a way that your dreams become your reality. And lastly, quality human capital management skills. अकेले तो अपन कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं. We need other people. And why would other people help us or support us? Only when we have a relationship. It's a mutual give and take. Fair enough? So these are the three skills required in today's time to be successful in our business and profession. And obviously we need intelligences. Come on, there are 4 types of intelligences which we need. Unmute yourself and share with me कौन सी intelligences हैं. या आप chat box में डालिए. अच्छा, before going forward, there was a question. किसी ने, आदित्य कुमार ने लिखा है कि what do you mean by unlearn? Yeah, so Aditya, I'll answer this question at the end, right? मुझे याद दिला देना, please.
And probably I would also add something to it.
Yeah, okay. Emotional intelligence, social intelligence, human intelligence. What is human intelligence? There's nothing as human intelligence. Cognitive, emotional, social, okay. Brilliant, brilliant. आप लोग सही track पे हैं. Apply yourself more. थोड़ा सा और अपने को exert करिए. Artificial intelligence? No, not artificial intelligence. Self-intelligence, okay. Practical intelligence, spiritual intelligence, yes. Brilliant. Let me share with you. Number 1 is the body intelligence. आपकी body आपको क्या signal देती है, वो पहचानने वाली चीज है. I think we did the exercise, na, the feeling good and bad.
Yeah.
On the second day.
Yeah.
Yes, the pause में हमने करी थी, correct. So that was your body intelligence telling you, okay. Then rational intelligence, which is your mind, sharpening your brain and mind. Emotional intelligence, कईयों ने लिखा है, managing yourself. And spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence का मतलब ये है, whether good or bad, whatever the circumstances are, you retain your composure, you retain your poise, and you respond, you don't react, you don't have a knee-jerk reaction, okay? That is spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence comes from the heart. Rational intelligence and emotional intelligence comes from the mind, okay? Now what happens when the spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence merge, they overlap? You start dealing better with people. When rational intelligence and emotional intelligence merge, your performance and results go up. And when spiritual intelligence and rational intelligence, they merge or come together, ethics and values come into play, and they come into play because you have a greater self-awareness. You are more self-aware. Okay. Now, let me show you the power of spiritual intelligence. Okay. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. अब अपना सारा focus अपने mind पे ले जाइए. Focus on your mind, and in your mind, bring a picture of someone you don't like. और अब उसकी बुराई करिए. Mentally. Now, bring your attention to your heart. और heart पे रखिएगा. Bring the same person back in your heart. और अब उसकी बुराई करिए. Okay, open your eyes. अब मुझे अब ये बताइए, बुराई करना पहले आसान था या बाद में आसान था? हार्ट से बुराई करना आसान था या माइंड से बुराई करना आसान था? Dipanshu says mind, 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 mind. Brilliant. So what did we do? हमने जब माइंड पे फोकस किया, we used our emotional intelligence, our rational intelligence, whatever it is, right? And it became so easy. अच्छा है, बुरा है, बुरी है, अच्छी है, and all that stuff, right? उसने ऐसा किया, उसने ये किया, उसको तो ये होना चाहिए, all that stuff. Because mind is a field of duality, good, bad, black, white, right, wrong, ethical, unethical, moral, immoral, मुझे फायदा होगा, मुझे नुकसान होगा. Okay? But when it comes to heart, it's a one-way traffic. It only looks at the larger good. It only looks at mutuality, at love. Okay? तभी हम, a number of times we say, दिल और दिमाग में जंग छिड़ी हुई है. There's a war between our mind and heart. What is that war? Your ego, which is a product of your mind, is saying, go and hit. But your spiritual intelligence, your soul is saying, come on, forget it, yaar. There's no point. ये सबके संग होता है नहीं होता है ऐसा? Come on, put it in the chat box. Yes, no. There's a fight between the mind and the heart. Yes. That's a normal human reaction. So whenever you are faced with such a situation, take a pause, look at the larger picture. You see, and when you look at the larger picture, हो सकता है आपको खुद की गलती नजर आ जाए उसके अंदर, जो आप दूसरे पे blame कर रहे हैं. And then focus on your heart and see what is coming out. So these are the four intelligences we need to work upon. And when you work upon these four, work upon kya? Unleash them, develop them, so that the three qualities which we want to survive, expand, be relevant, be prosperous, and succeed in the 21st century, they get developed. Spiritual intelligence तो मैंने आपको बता ही दिया. And the 5 strategies to kickstart change, that's transformation, are attention management, we have discussed. Increase self-awareness, थोड़ा बहुत हमने किया है, बाकी हम कल करेंगे. Remove internal bottlenecks, ये हम कल करेंगे. Habit of pause, हम कर चुके हैं. Time मिला तो gratitude and compassion भी हम कल कर लेंगे. Exercise करा दूंगा मैं आपको. ठीक है, बाकी आपको मालूम ही है. And now, हैक इज अ वेरी पॉपुलर वर्ड दीस डेज. मुझे इस साल भर पहले तक इसका मतलब नहीं मालूम था. आप सब लोग तो यंगस्टर्स हैं, आपको मालूम होगा. Hack to succeed, hack to success in 2021 and onwards. What is that hack? Come on, think and put it in the chat box. Okay, let me give it to you. Is to develop your EQ. और इसके संग मैं spiritual quotient भी कहूँगा. Because the IQ जिस पे हमारी education system focused है, that can only open doors for you. But once you are inside the company, or once you start your own business, it will depend how you interact with people, with customers, your clients, with your employees, with the stakeholders, your finances, etc., etc. And over there, your EQ and SQ would come into play. So therefore, research suggests that 80% success depends on how you manage yourself and how you relate with others and events, not on IQ. So there has to be a healthy mix of both the things. I've given you a brief background of the driving forces, how businesses have changed, and how do you need to prepare, and in what areas do you need to prepare yourself so that जब आप college से निकलें, you are relevant to society, you are successful in society, you add value to society, and society adds value to you. So with this thing, I'll come to an end of today's small presentation. And before मैं screen sharing बंद कर रहा हूँ, and जो एक सवाल था, what is unlearning? Unlearning का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपने जो आज तक सीखा वो गलत है. होता क्या है, जब नई इंफॉर्मेशन आती है, नई नॉलेज आती है, तो रियलिटी का दायरा बढ़ जाता है. तो जो पहले सीखा हुआ है उसको रीपोजिशन करना पड़ता है इन द ओवरऑल रियलिटी. दैट इज एंड अडेप्ट करना पड़ता है टू द न्यू रियलिटी. टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल, देयर इज अ बिल्डिंग of 10 stories. You are standing on the ground floor. आपको कितना दिखेगा? You'll be limited by the vision जितना दिखेगा. And that is the reality for you at that point of time. Now you go to the 10th floor. Your vision would expand multiple times. आपको बहुत दूर दूर तक का दिखेगा. That becomes the new reality. So this does not mean that the earlier knowledge has become irrelevant. The only thing is the earlier knowledge needs to be supplemented by the new knowledge, and you need to adapt to the new ways. This is unlearning. So it is, you learn new things, and you adapt yourself to the new reality. So unlearning का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप zero हो गई आपको, आप उसको उठा के बाहर फेंक देना है. No. उसकी भी वैल्यू है. तो does that answer your question? Yes, Dr. Kaur.
Yeah. Who was the person who asked this? Could you please write it in the chat box once again?
आदित्य कुमार हैं, कह रहे हैं yes sir.
Okay. आदित्य सर ने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया. Now being a teacher, being an educator, I'll try to put it in those forms only as a student, as an educator. Now, as a student, normally what our conventional education system has been, till school, you are given certain syllabus, you complete that, you cram certain things, it's a rote learning, you are given notes, you go through it, you write papers. So whatever was given to you, you just, you took it and then you vomited it out, something like a rote learning. So that is what you had learned throughout your, and then marks was very important. You were always running after the marks. So this is what you had learned. Now, for me, unlearning for you people would be when you come to a higher education institution, knowing the concepts, knowing the conceptual thing, learning the skills rather than going only on the marks, not going for the rote learning, but knowing what exactly is being taught to you, giving more focus to that. So you had to unlearn your previous thing. Previously, you had learned to score good marks always, even if it means cramming and giving the answer right, not going through a creativity. But now unlearning is that you have to change that mindset. You learned, and now you have to unlearn that no, marks is not only important. Giving a right answer is not only important. I should know the concepts. I should have some skills which would help me. So this is what you learned previously. Now you are unlearning it and relearning it. Relearning it in a better way, in a way when you want to adapt yourself to the coming needs of the 21st century. A professional, to have more skills. Similarly, as an educator, probably I was used to teaching in a conventional method with a chalk and talk method. I would write my things which I had to express on a blackboard, and students would copy the notes. But this is what I have been doing for so many years. But now, as the times changed, I know I have to give more practical exposure to the students. I have everything is available online, and I make my PowerPoint presentations, which are more impressive, which are more explanatory, and which give a more insight to the students. So my initial thing of chalk and talk, although I still keep it sometimes, but I have changed to the PowerPoint presentations and to the webinars and to experiential learning, experimental learning, practical approach. So I unlearned it and relearned a new way. So this is learning, unlearning, and relearning, which is required in times of today to make ourselves abreast of what changes are there in the world. I don't know if Sandeep, you
No,
would
no,
be a better judge.
you're perfectly right, perfectly right. I'll just simplify the entire thing. जैसे इन्होंने स्कूल का एग्जाम्पल दिया, you are used to cramming it up, रट लेते हैं आप. When you come into college, right, you have to unlearn the habit of ratna
Yes,
and
exactly.
learn the habit of investigation and research, right? Now, this would require a big shift in your mentality. पहले तो क्या था, आपने अपना कमरा बंद किया, किताब हाथ में ली, चक्कर मार रहे हैं, उसको 20 बार बोला, वो जम गया दिमाग में. But now you have to go to the library, pick out books, read, make notes, discuss. So it's a change in habit. So this is the adaptation part. Okay. So you unlearn the habit of memorization, root memorization. You learn the habit of research and
Investigation and
investigation, research,
yeah.
and understanding. And then to shift from root learning to investigation requires adaptation. Therefore, the three things go together.
एंड अगेन जैसे सर ने बोला कोलैबोरेटिव, आप स्कूल टाइम्स में अपने नोट्स अपने आप से ही पढ़ते थे. यहाँ पर यू वुड बी डूइंग मोर ऑफ कोलैबोरेटिव वर्क which would give you better results in a teamwork. So does it answer, Aditya? And how many of you agree or you have something to say about learning, unlearning, and relearning, which is very important these days? The house is open for all the students. You can either write in the chat box what you think about it, or you can unmute yourself.
Okay, now let me put in a very interesting point. Point also, friendships. The way you took friendships when you were in the primary school, the way you looked at friendships when you were in high school, and the way you are looking at friendships now, and
Yeah.
the way your elders look at friendships, उसमें आप लोगों को फर्क नजर आता है? वो चेंज फर्क आता है? So ये कैसे हुआ? How was it possible? Because you allowed certain things to go out of the system, allowed certain new things to come in, and you adapted to the new things which were relevant at that point of time. So this is the process of constantly, learning, unlearning, adapting, learning, unlearning, adapting. So this is all I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for yet another very interesting, very interactive, very thought-provoking, and an informative session. Thank you so much.
So let's have
Ma'am?
some.
The house is open
Yes.
for any feedbacks, any queries, any comments.
Ma'am?
Yeah, Pooja, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am, I want to ask something.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, I know my question is different, but I
It's
think
okay.
this is the right time to ask that how can we know our interest, that what we can do after graduation, or
Okay. How do you find your purpose? How do you identify what your interests are? This is what you want to ask?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sandeep?
Can I answer?
Yeah,
Pooja,
sure. Sure.
we have a date tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Does that answer your question?
Okay, sir.
This is the thing, kal apan cover karenge.
Yes.
Okay? This is very
Until
much
that
there.
time, okay. I'll probably, even if I have to add something, I'll add after that only. So Pooja, you have to, by all means, you have to attend tomorrow's session.
Yeah. And in fact, everyone, because kal main koi presentation leke nahi aunga. Kal we will be only doing practical work, nothing else. Okay? We will just do practical work. So it's very important all of you come, and also ask your friends to come. Okay? Because you will find you'll be seeing you'll be looking at yourself in a new way. आपके पैशंस क्या हैं, आपके इंटरेस्ट क्या हैं, आपकी वैल्यूज क्या हैं, कल हम सब पे काम करेंगे. We'll also work on fears which hold you back. ठीक है?
Sandeep, there's one question from Aditya.
Yes.
If you will answer, otherwise, if you give me the liberty, I'll answer. What
Please go
teamwork
ahead.
do you think is better? A team of good friends or a team of good students but strangers?
Okay.
Sandeep?
Yes. Look, you got to have a commonality in the purpose, right? If there's no common vision or shared vision, it will not serve any purpose. So you've got to be very clear for what purpose the team is being framed. Remember, emotions जो हमारे होते हैं वो infectious होते हैं, contagious होते हैं. आपने अक्सर देखा होगा 4 दोस्त बैठे हुए हैं, they are in a very happy mood. 5वां दोस्त आता है, एकदम से gloom छा जाता है कमरे में. या 4 बड़े दुखी बैठे हैं, the 5th person comes, एकदम से खुशी की लहर दौड़ जाती है. अरे कोई जादूगर थोड़ी है वो. The only thing is जो उसकी internal happiness थी उसने आपके gloom को हटा दिया. So you got to be conscious of this factor. And मेरे हिसाब से I will say commonality of purpose. Number 2, friends and strangers का कोई मतलब नहीं है उसमें. जो strangers हैं वो भी तो friend बन जाएंगे आपके, और जो friends हैं वो भी तो कभी strangers थे. So that commonality of purpose and किसके संग आप वो achieve कर सकते हैं, the bigger picture, and किसके संग emotionally you are feeling secure. Remember one thing, you got to be in a relationship. ये भी आप नोट कर लीजिए, बहुत काम आएगा आपके. 4 S's होते हैं relationship में. The way you are seen by the other person. दूसरा शख्स आपको कैसे देख रहा है, right? Number 2, are you feeling safe with the other person? Are you feeling secure with the other person? And is the other person soothing you? अगर आप स्ट्रेस में हैं तो उसकी प्रेजेंस से आपको एक कंफर्ट मिल रहा है, नहीं मिल रहा है. क्या सीन का मतलब यह है कि वो आपको किस निगाह से देख रहा है, एज अ सबऑर्डिनेट, एज अ सुपीरियर, और एज अ फ्रेंड, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग. Then safe. Are you feeling safe to share your thoughts with the other person? And lastly, secure. Are you feeling secure with the other person कि वो आपको physically harm तो नहीं करेगा? So ये सब टेस्ट हैं छोटे से, वो अप्लाई कर लीजिए, देख लीजिए.
Can I add?
Yes, please.
A very good question and a very important question actually. और सर ने बहुत अच्छे से बताया. That is in terms of relations. I'll talk in terms of again a college life education. If you're asked to do something, let's say some project which you have to do in a team, a collaborative work where you have to learn. Normally the tendency is, okay, he's my friend, and let's do it together. That's not the right way. The right way is to see the vision. See what is the vision, and if you have a diversified group, it always helps. You may be good at one thing, the other person may be good at another thing, so you will get a chance to learn from him. So when you are going for a teamwork, especially to do some project or to learn something, try to make a group which has diversified persons. For example, even when we are talking of entrepreneurship or startups, we say your group should be diversified. You should not be ruled by only emotions that he is my friend, so I am going to work with him. No. Your main vision is to learn, to achieve your goal, to reach to your targets. For those, you require people with different capabilities, and it should be a diversified. So if I'm able to answer that in the terms of when you're doing a particular project or a practical or a work given in your college.
I totally agree with you, Dr. Kaur, because the principle of collaboration comes into play. 1 plus 1 becomes 11. So knowledge.
Exactly, because this is from experience. We normally see in practicals they make groups. He's a good friend, so let's. But both of them are talking rather than learning. So the main aim is to learn, and someone who can actually encourage you towards that would be really helpful to you for on a long-term basis. Friendship is good till you are passing time and till you are getting that emotional satisfaction. But when you go in for a teamwork to get something out of it, something productive, you have to be thinking in a very pragmatic manner.
Acha, or let me add one thing. I was just taken back to my college days. तो जब भी ऐसी सिचुएशन आती थी, अगर 6 जने हैं एक ग्रुप में, तो यूजुअली 2 जने बाकी 4 का काम भी करते हुए नजर आते थे.
Exactly.
You see, because in friendship you tend to take advantage of each other, right?
और कभी कभी 2 लोग जो काम करना चाहते थे वो 4 लोगों की वजह से काम नहीं करते.
हाँ.
छोड़ दो ना, क्या करना है काम करके.
So having said this, I'll only say commonality of the vision and what you need to achieve. That should be your guiding force.
Yes, very true.
And the intent, obviously the intent of everyone to work, so you got to take a rational decision, not an emotional decision.
Yes, I think that's very well summed up. Taking a rational decision rather than an emotional decision, depending upon what your focus is, what your target, what your objective is.
So, okay, guys, do char log, why don't you unmute yourself and share today's learning, or what do you say? ये कोई पूछ रहे हैं, how will we differ between two decisions? Raghav, do you mean the emotional decision and the rational decision? If you mean, तो emotional decisions are usually reflexive. तो decision लेने के बाद you become aware कि तुमने decision ले लिया, and rational decisions are responding. You think and then you take a decision, and emotional decisions are without thinking.
For example, friend ने बोला छोड़ ना क्लास क्या करनी है, चलो आज भी घूमते हैं, कल भी घूमते हैं, and you said okay, I have to go by what my friend says.
Yes, that's a emotional decision.
Yeah.
Yes, so I would be happy अगर दो चार लोग.
There was one question, Sandeep, from Karan, if I'm not, sir, could you repeat that when you said mind is a dash of duality?
Okay. Now let me give them an example. Okay. You guys must have, you guys must be surprised at your own behavior a number of times, right? Sometimes you might be behaving in a very selfish manner, and sometimes you behave in a very helpful manner, selfless manner, benevolent manner. ये होता ही नहीं होता है. Yes or no? And you are surprised
Yes.
at your own behavior. Yes. You know ये क्यों होता है? Okay. जैसे I've been talking of the soul, the mind, and the body. Okay. The soul is the central point, which only knows love, selflessness. Around the soul is the mind. And around the mind is the body. Body only knows I, me, my. उसको सिर्फ तीन चीजें मालूम है. Survival at any cost, satisfaction at any cost, reproduction at any cost. चौथी चीज उसको नहीं मालूम. और जो ये mind है, ये constantly keeps on swinging between the soul and the body, which means between selfishness and selflessness. तो जिस टाइम बाहर से कोई इम्पल्स आती है, अगर वो बॉडी की तरफ है उस पॉइंट पे, सो योर रिएक्शन वुड बी वेरी सेल्फिश. और अगर वो सोल की तरफ है, इट विल बी वेरी बेनोवलेंट. ओके, or it will be very selfless. Now what happens when we start meditating and controlling our mind? We start reducing the oscillation of the mind. And जब oscillation reduce होता है, तो more consistency in our thought process, more consistency in the way we react, and the more consistency in our action manifests. Okay, so meditation is another. Meditation का एक बहुत बड़ा फायदा ये है consistency. And जितना आप meditate करते हैं, उतना आप selfishness से selflessness की तरफ move करते चले जाते हैं. Okay, so do you understand the concept of duality now?
On that note, Sandeep, I would tell you, I'm for the past 4 days, I'm yes concentrating and enjoying meditation.
Good, excellent. और मैं सबसे कहूंगा भैया कर लो जो 5 मिनट रोज की बात है, you will find ज्यादा एब्जॉर्ब करने लगे हो, ज्यादा समझने लगे हो, and ज्यादा एब्जॉर्ब करोगे, your memory would be sharpened, you will be more relaxed, and finally you will do much better in your exams in life. But again,
Suryansh, I would like to answer you because I practiced it last 4 days. You said, how do we improve meditation? Just forget about it, improve. Just do it and start. You have to enjoy it. As sir told, I'm doing the same way. So you said meditation helps in our improvement. How can we concentrate on meditation? Don't think anything, just meditate. Just enjoy that feeling of being within yourself and probably focusing on your breaths. This is what I am doing. And
yes.
and forget that whether it's right or wrong, just continue doing that.
सूर्यांश एक चीज और आपको बताएं, जब आप ये करेंगे, different thoughts will come up. Let them come up. Don't get involved with them. जैसे टीवी देखते हो, look at them. You know, तुम उन thoughts को जितना attention दोगे, उतने वो stronger होंगे तुम्हारे अंदर. And if you don't give attention, they'll stop coming. Don't fight them. Let them come. हो सकता है बड़े उल्टे सीधे थॉट्स भी आए, हो सकता है बड़े गंदे थॉट्स भी आए, हो सकता है बड़े पायस थॉट्स भी आए. सबके संग होता है. बड़े से बड़े ऋषि, महात्मा, देवी, देवता, सबके संग वो होता है. So उनको जज मत करना बस. You don't need to judge those thoughts because after all, वो सारे thoughts तो human behavior और interaction के ही है ना.
Very true.
Okay, so and don't judge yourself. Just allow them to come. Don't involve yourself with them. अब जैसे एक थी, अब उनको हमने सिखाया तो करने बैठी, तो उनको ध्यान आ गया कि उनकी बेटी परेशान है, तो वो मेडिटेशन भूल के उस बेटी की जो प्रॉब्लम्स थी उनको सॉल्व करने में लग गई. You see, and then they said कि मुझसे मेडिटेशन नहीं होता. So that is, you don't get attached with those thoughts. You know, Mark Twain has said, I have lived a number of problematic situations in my life, and a few really happened.
Yes.
I have lived a number of traumatic situations in my life, and a few
You,
and a few only happened. और जैसे मैंने आप लोगों को वो एक्सरसाइज कराई थी, योर अटेंशन along with your mind is so powerful, वो एक illusionary reality create कर देता है, आप उसको सच मानने लगते हैं. So this is what I had to add to
it's
it.
very true. It was a very productive lecture. You know, I'm enjoying it so much. So every day, at the end of the day, I have that feeling of elation where I feel I have learned something new, which is going to benefit me throughout my life. Thank you so much, Sandeep.
You're welcome. And yes, so let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow there's no PPT, it's only practical work. Get your paper, pencil. We'll be doing a few exercises. And I promise you, you'll see yourself in a very different way.
Yes, totally agree. Okay,
Okay.
on that note, we'll say bye for now, to meet tomorrow again. And we've had a wonderful journey with you. And the results are far-fetching, like we would be benefited with from them for a long, long time. And thank you so much, Sandeep. Thank you, all the participants. It was lovely having you here. And tomorrow we'll meet for the final session. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all.